It's a Tuesday afternoon in early December, and Rita Wilson is ruminating on the meaning of happiness. It's being with your family and seeing that everyone is pursuing what they love and, oops. Here comes a husband, she says, pausing to greet her spouse of nearly 35 years, actor Tom Hanks. Moving into a quiet room, the multi-hyphenate star, 66, continues her thought. Happiness, for me, is equated with gratitude, she says. I don't think you can have happiness without gratitude. With an enduring marriage and career that spanned 5 decades, Wilson, 66, has plenty to be thankful for. Every morning I get up, and I say, "Thank you, God. I'm still here," she says. I hope that I have many more years ahead of me to create. Born and raised in Hollywood, Wilson got her start in acting at age 16 in The Brady Bunch. After appearing in shows like Three's Company and Bosom Buddies, where she first met Hanks, also 66, she moved to the big screen in Sleepless in Seattle and That Thing You Do. But once she became a mother, Wilson took a step back from her career to focus on raising sons Che, 32, and Truman, 27. She's also a stepmom to Hank's older kids, Colin, 45, and Elizabeth, 40. I slowed down my work because I really wanted to be the mom that was there when they got home, drove the carpool and did all those things, she says. Tom was also working a lot, so we would travel with him. If both of us were working and not home, my kids would have been affected. I wouldn't call slowing down my career a sacrifice, I would call it a choice. As Hank's career continued to grow during that time, Wilson says she never felt anything but happiness for him. Tom and I have always been supportive of each other and what we do, she says. I remember doing press junkets back in the day, and interviewers would say to me, "Gosh, it must be so difficult to be with someone so famous." I would think, why are they saying that? Then I realized that the question was more about them and how they would feel in that situation than me. If you have someone who is happy for your success, and you're happy for their success, that's not even an issue that comes up, she continues. You know about Schadenfreude, when you're happy for someone's failure. Well, there's another concept called Freudenfreude, which is when you're happy for someone's success. I live in the Freudenfreude. Somebody else's success does not diminish my own. After all, Wilson says she didn't even know you could aspire to be a bigger star while growing up in Hollywood. To me, if I was working, that was satisfying, she says. Acting is really the only job I've ever had, aside from being a ticket taker at a concert venue and working in retail for a couple of months in high school. So, I always came at it with the idea that I was doing something that I loved, and it just happened to be show business. Though her kids are older now, Wilson says parenting never ends, it just becomes different. While her son Truman appears as the younger version of Hank's character in the upcoming film she co-produced, A Man Called Otto, Wilson says she totally stayed out of the process of casting him. Mark Forster, the director of A Man Called Otto, had the idea to meet with Truman for the role, she says. I was like, well, he's not an actor. He wants to be a cinematographer. He was a math major at Stanford University, so he's got a very different brain. Mark was persistent though, And he said, "Why?"